And so his boss, Region 9, we're going to get him on and find out, what Gov Guam is doing, what they're asking for, what are we going to get reimbursed for. It's time to start this conversation about, since we're talking about recovery, talk about, accountability, transparency, spending, the legislature, they're going into session. There's a lot going on. And so let's kind of get it started here. We had him on the show, I think it was a couple weeks ago, from Partners, Mike Israel. I just wanted to bring you on here, Mike, I guess if we could just start with your reaction to the governor's recovery plan that was presented yesterday at the press conference. Did you get a chance to get some eyes on that, and what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I took a look at it. Hello, hi, Chris.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, it may have seemed like a couple weeks ago, but it was like a week ago.
I'm losing track of time, dude.
I mean, time has just disappeared. I mean, we're in this Netherlands, this universe of unbelief where we sit around and we wait for other people outside of Guam to rescue us when we're perfectly capable of rescuing ourselves. We are literally tying ourselves and then turning around and says, please come save us. But the governor's plan, extremely disappointing. What are we waiting for? We have had almost zero. I mean, 1 or 2 positive tests here or there. Nobody in the hospital. 6-8 weeks ago, we started with 25 in the hospital. We're now down to 5, 2, 1, 0. It's crazy. We are 250 beds sitting empty. Meanwhile, she wants to wait another 14 days. I mean, this plan was hatched back in Wednesday last week. 14 days, and then maybe she might let some places open, no restaurants. And again, the plan was not concrete. We still have no idea what it means. We're sitting around and it's sort of like a plan that was written by an academician sitting in a cave somewhere with no outside ideas of what the reality is. The reality of Guam is we're a hot, humid island. The COVID, to the extent there is any COVID on this island, is well under control. We have the peak resource capacity. That's what this is all about. We wanted to make sure that if we had the tens of thousands that these 2 doctors, who are the only ones that the governor seems to listen to, all those Zoom videos, she has the mute button. She doesn't let people talk.
Yeah,
I can't believe how you news people have just bent over for her and allow.
Oh, I don't think anybody's bending over for her over here.
Whoa there, Mike. Whoa. Yeah, we're not. We're going to these press conferences, Mike. We're asking the questions, and if they mute us, then so be it. We can't unmute ourselves, so we're definitely trying, and it's frustrating.
Let them know that she's not answering your questions. The Post had a question the other day. He goes, "Well, I don't think that's a valid question." Mute and move it on. And they only had one question. How do you? I mean, I can't believe that the media in general. You guys are the exception. That's why I love talking to you, Chris, because you're the one who has the nerve to call her out. Everyone else wants to be kind of polite. I mean, people are getting frustrated. The Post is starting to come out a little bit. PDN is still a mouthpiece. Ray Gibson's been talking about it for a while. We're starting to get frustrated. There's nothing. It's a huge nothing burger. In the meantime, the only legislation going on is how much more money do we spend that we don't have? So, no, very unimpressed with the plan. Why can't we start tomorrow? Why can't we start this today? Nothing in her plan really makes a whole lot of sense, but let's start. She doesn't want to start because once we retaste our freedom, it's going to be hard to put us back in the cage again.
Mm. I mean, you're talking about this on the radio, but have you tried to talk to anybody on her economic advisory recovery panel? The Chamber of Commerce is on there. There's former Governor Carl Gutierrez, Joseph Bradley from the Bank of Guam. Have you spoke to any of them?
Yes, of course.
And what have they said?
Please keep they have said, quote, please keep my name out of it. They cannot know we're talking because we're under strict secrecy orders. And the moment you violate it, boom, you're out.
You're out. Yeah.
So the attitude is, okay, we'll bide our time. We'll sit here and nod our head. We won't necessarily be in support of it. And that's why the 2 vocal guys, Dr. Cruz and Dr. Cabrera, are the ones who control everything. The doctors, she has a whole doctors committee. And I'm like, why are you people not speaking out? I mean, I'm talking to a lot of doctors. I don't make this stuff up. I mean, Guam's a very small place. Our coconut telegraph is very strong. Well, and the doctors agree with what I'm saying.
No, yeah, they're
Why
definitely
should they not? Well, should pick me off the committee, and if I'm out of the committee, I can't at least try to guide it.
Well, we've been served the nothing burger, as you put it. How are you going to eat it, and how are you going to? I mean, you're. This is what you're getting. What are you going to do?
How do we turn this lemon into Finadeni?
Yeah.
All right. She's got 2.5 years. She's got to get out of jail card for 2.5 years. We can't touch her for 2.5 years. Okay. But the legislature's coming up. They've got 6 months, and in 5 months. When's November? Again, the alternative reality. 6 months. We got 6 months. And in 6 months, they're going to have to start explaining to the people of Guam why they allowed our island to fall into total economic chaos, where nobody's working. I mean, she was very protective during the presentation of her plan. When somebody asked her one of the hard questions or something, she was, we have to. They were saying, well, what about furloughing some GovGuam workers like Hawaii and other places have done? Because our new reality is we have a much more diminished economy. And it was like, oh no, we have to protect the GovGuam workers. We have to make sure they're paid, and to the extent they're taking risks, we have to pay them even more. And I'm looking at it saying, what about 60% of the rest of the island that's sitting here with no money? How come no one wants to protect us? And we're the ones who give them the money to spend in the first place. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen is the big sucking sound. We are going to have an economic decline like there's no tomorrow. And we could stop it. We could start now. Let's start loosening up. We have the hospital resources, 250 beds sitting empty. The only place that's making any kind of coin is GRMC. And of course, their two doctors are urging the status quo. Keep this place locked down, because so long as the order's in place, they've got all the business on Guam.
Right.
Because everyone else is waiting for the COVID patients, which don't exist.
Mike, what about this? We had Simon on the other day, and he kind of proposed it as a chicken and the egg argument. Is you reopen now, nobody's got money to go out and go to these businesses. But, I mean, again, if you don't reopen, how do you restart the economy? So how do you kind of balance those two trains of thought?
You know, it's not for the government. We are a free people. Let us be free. Believe it or not, when she says reopen, a lot of places are not reopening. But those that want to reopen, let them. Thank them for stepping forward. We have to get reopened. Here's the situation. Our real golden goose, our nest egg, our future relies on tourism. We are a tourist-driven economy. That and also begging money from Uncle Sam, which I really do not like. I'm a proud person. I want to make my own money. I don't want it coming from Uncle Sam. I like it when Guam is able to be self-supporting. So those people have to want to come to Guam. And we need to show them that we're open and that everything is fine here. And they're going to want to see that. So if we don't do it now, because right now, you open tomorrow, there'll be very little additional economic activity. It'll take a while. Give it the 30 days, she keeps saying, but we have to start now. What she's done is in her plan, 14 more days. In 14 days, she'll find another excuse to delay again, and another excuse. Because it's always easy to say, let's freeze.
Mm-hmm. So then if
Meanwhile, they're running out of money.
So if you were the chef and you had this nothing burger, what would you do to turn it into a Whopper? And what would be your plan? What would be your plan?
My game plan is this. There are airplanes sitting empty right now all over the world. The rest of the world is starting to wake up that this has been a big fraud. This whole COVID thing, it was way overblown. You know, they're waking up to that. So now there's a race to reopen. And if we are slow, we're going to be on the back end of it. And those airplanes are going to be diverted away. Right now, if we open up, the airlines will go ahead and allocate airplanes to us, even though they're empty, because they're empty everywhere. But as the other places open, we're in a competitive world. We have to compete with the rest. Half of the United States now is on reopening phase, 45 states out of 50. Now, of course, we know who the 25 who don't want to open. They have Democrat governors and all. But we don't have that luxury. We don't have enough money to support to continue to do this, to make a point about something, which I don't understand. But we need to open now so they'll want to come and do business with us. And if we're open and we show the rest of the world that our COVID issue is under control, we don't have people, we don't have massive influx. Maybe we're all things. And then if there is a problem, we can always shut it down. It's very easy. I mean, she shut us down in a matter of 3 days. She canceled the entire Guam economy. We went from a 60% occupancy to 0 in 5 days. So I don't know what she's really worried about. So we need to do is open up and then watch and monitor. I approve of the idea of going out and testing. Of course, I don't know why she's so obsessed with it. Has to be an FDA-approved test. Geez, it's a Cadillac or nothing. Come on, this is Guam. We drive Toyotas.
Your gout medicine isn't FDA approved.
I know. I mean, what is FDA? FDA is not it's not a pharmaceutical company. They rarely approve anything. They just simply say it's safe, it's good enough. They don't actually stamp approval. I mean, even now, right now, if you want to fly into Guam without the 14-day quarantine, which some people are doing, and they're getting waivers, the official way is you have to go get a certificate from a WHO or CDC approved laboratory or something.
Right.
Nobody even knows that those exist. Meanwhile, we've got COVID tests all over the place. But no, we can't look at those. We're only going to look. I mean, the plans are draconian. If she loosen up a little bit, we could see where things are going. But you keep everything locked down, and we're not going to know where we are. We're staying in the darkness. So my plan is just open up. Now, there are some places like maybe theaters and stuff like that. You may want to say, okay, or other states. Look at what other states are doing.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Mike. The examples are definitely there in terms of what to reopen and how to reopen. And, you know, look at where we're at now is, you're right, the governor wants to keep us locked down for the time being. But what's happening is you're getting the church. The church wrote letters saying, hey, can we reopen and we'll do social distancing, we'll do the masks, we'll jump through all your hoops. They were roundly rejected, so we spoke with the Archbishop yesterday, and he said, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're going to do the sacraments. We're just going to follow their guidelines about PPEs and social distancing, and we're going to do it. Okay. So, I mean, if the church is already like, you know what, yeah, you're fine, go over there, we're going to do what we got to do. I'm wondering if we're going to start to see some, you know, I mean, God, rebel businesses, maybe. No, we're going to, you know.
We're in a tough position. See, you try to shut down the church, what's the worst you can do? Put their minister in jail? Oh, that's going to really be bad. In the States,
that public health's going to come lock up Father Paul for saying mass.
I know, that's going to be really bad. No, the worst they're going to do is give him an order, slap a GPS tracker on him, and say, don't do it again. If you're a business, on the other hand, the reason why she was so successful in yanking everybody out, just shutting things down, was if you violate, they yank your business license. Once they yank your business license, it will take you months to years to get it back. Because the bureaucracy on Guam, one, it's closed. So that was a very, very effective threat.
And then they were also telling people to call it in. They were like, hey, call it in our snitch line. And
yeah, that didn't work out too well in New York for de Blasio, huh? That was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. He made a snitch line. You take a photo of somebody doing something wrong, and you send it to her, right? Or to de Blasio, him. And people were taking pictures of themselves, giving the finger to de Blasio and sending it to one as a snitch line. New Yorkers, they're pretty tough people.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Thanks for your 2 cents. Was that 2 cents?
Please, everybody, urge the legislature. We can shut this. We can shut this insanity tomorrow. 8 people. Only 8 people need to vote.
Right on. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Mike Israel, Tenota Partners. Let's keep it over here and get Dr. Akimoto on because I feel like he's got something to say. Good morning, Doc.